Sixers fans, it's 12:30 at night. I'm about to lay down, watch me some Game of Thrones for the second time, of course, because I love it. And Danny Green re-signs 2 years, $20 million. I have a lot I want to say, but at the same time, I don't have a lot I want to say. So I have no idea how long this video will be. I apologize. My shirt's inside out. I know it's late. I wasn't wearing a shirt, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I just threw something on. I just threw something on. It's not great. It's not great there. Anyway, let's talk Danny Green. Let's talk re-signing, and let's talk how awkward this is going to be for all those content creators who are like, "Oh, screw Danny Green after what he said about the fans. Doesn't matter. We don't even want him back." And that's awkward because we want him back. He's very vital to what this team can be, and I think he plays a much bigger role in the Sixers losing than I think a lot of people recognize. Danny Green is very much the team leader. I think he's the guy who is one of the more consistent dudes on the team, which is insane to say because he was up and down all year. But I mean more on the effort side of the game. You know what you're getting out of Danny Green on a nightly basis. I mean, he shoots. He had a great year from three. I'm not looking at stats, but I'm going to say it was around 40% from three. He was probably our second best three-point shooter. He led the NBA in corner threes made. Percentage-wise from the corner, he was fantastic. But he is such a team leader, energy-wise and effort-wise and just leadership-wise. I don't know. That sounds weird. I didn't know. But, yeah, I like Danny Green. 2 years, $20 million. Sounds about right. I think the Sixers did a good job doing this. I think Danny Green getting hurt really kind of hurt the Sixers when it came to versatility in that Atlanta Hawks series. And that's, if you look at it, the moment the Sixers became lost in the series. And Danny Green, though, got completely burnt in Game 1 against Atlanta, and he's just not the defender that he used to be. He's not as quick and athletic as he used to be, but he's still a pretty good defender. I mean, I would probably have him in the top 15 defending guards in the NBA, maybe top 10, and I think off-ball defensively, he's fantastic. I think Danny Green's a good off-ball defender, and I think he's a good defender. I think he's a good team defender. I think he's a good defender in general. I think worst case scenario in 2 years, he's just a 3-and-D guy, man. He's going to be somebody who can play a little bit worse defensively, but shooting doesn't go away. Shooting is something that stays with age because it doesn't rely on athleticism. Danny Green's not going to be jumping out of the gym. That dude hasn't dunked since 1995, and no one cares. No one needs Danny Green to lock down the number one guy on the other team. I mean, it's just that's not what he is. We're giving him $10 million a year to be that clubhouse guy, to be that vocal guy, to be that guy that's going to get the team together, rally the troops, get a good win, bounce back, talk about what it's like to win a championship. I said this last year, and I'll say it again. The Sixers need veteran guys with championship experience. I think Danny Green is the last of that left in Philadelphia, and you can't let that walk. You cannot let a guy who's been there and done that and knows what it takes to just walk. I think $10 million might be a little much. I think I probably would have done 2 years, $14 million. I thought that was closer to what he was going to be. And I think a 2-year deal it's interesting as well. But maybe there's a player option. I'm making this literally as soon as the news drops. And maybe there's a team option. Maybe there's only half of it guaranteed. Maybe it's something like George Hill's contract where you waive him and basically all that money is right back. Who knows? But I think this is just something the Sixers needed to do. I mean, the Sixers have had a bad offseason. They have been waiting. And though I think that's the right move with Ben Simmons, it's also not always the best move, and it's not a good move to wait on other people. I mean, obviously, this team right now, as constructed, is not going to win an NBA Finals. I hate to break it to you guys. Ben Simmons is probably, if he comes back in Philly or if he goes to Shanghai to play for the Shanghai Sharks, it doesn't matter. He's not going to come back and shoot the ball from three. Maybe at all, let alone consistently. Ben Simmons he's just not going to be that guy in Philadelphia. And with him on our team, there is only it's only so far we can go, and it's not a championship team, and I love the Sixers team, and I really do love this team, and I think last year was just such a fun year to watch. But it's not enough. And then you look over to teams in Miami, even the Knicks. You look at Chicago, especially. You look at Milwaukee. I mean, these teams are getting better, and Philadelphia is not, and that hurts. But I think this is a step in the right direction for Philadelphia. I think re-signing Danny Green is something that you need to do because I just don't think Matisse Thybulle was ready to start yet. Matisse, hopefully next year, or the year after next year, I should say, in the second year of Danny Green's 2-year contract, I think that's when Matisse is going to be that starter, and he needs to be better offensively, and maybe at some point this season he can just really kind of break out, and solidify his starting role. But I don't see it. I don't see it this year, and that's what makes Danny Green's return so important to me, because Matisse is not ready yet, and you can't have Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons out there starting together. Like, you just can't. You know what I mean? I don't care how good Seth Curry is offensively. You can't have those two guys together on the court at the same time to start a game and to end a game. You can't. And so I think Danny Green really is important to this team. I think it's much more important than a lot of people are going to initially realize and say right off the bat. There's a crumble on my bed. I had to get it off. I was looking at it. I had to get it off. It's important, and I'm glad Danny Green's coming back to Philadelphia. I wasn't one of the guys who was super mad at what he said about Philly fans. He was just backing up his guy. He was just backing up Ben Simmons. It's one thing if Doc Rivers said that as a coach, but to be a teammate of somebody, you're always going to support a guy that makes you a better player, because though Ben Simmons struggles in himself and making his own game expand and be his own, he is his own worst enemy, he makes the guys around him very, very good. So, Danny Green, welcome back. Hopefully there's more moves to be made. Peace out, guys.